What was once the perfect city for Midwestern values, a friendly afternoon game at the ballpark and those great restaurants and summers by the lake, has become a truly tragic microcosm of what afflicts America right now. Far too often, Chicago is where America is forced to look when it comes to crimes that really shock. To be fair, over the last 15 years, property crimes and what are called quality of life crimes have diminished in Chicago, but the number of violent crimes has barely taken a tick downward in that span. Within the last few days, 3 men were killed and at least 6 other people were wounded in shootings across the city. More than 170 homicides this year. The belief that Mayor Rahm Emanuel has been all talk and no results. And there's no more dangerous place to live and work than the Windy City. Chalk it up to, among other things, what some have called the bystander effect, where people have become so desensitized to finding bodies in the streets, it's just another day in the neighborhood. Our guest is the Chicago Rules columnist at the Newsmax.com website. He lives and breathes what is the shame of America to many minds at the moment. Welcome William Kelly to the Hard Line. William, good to talk to you again. So let's just get right to a simple point here. What is it? It can't just be Rahm Emanuel. What is it and when is it that turned Chicago into the disaster that it's become?
Well, you could say it's Rahm's policies, certainly. I've lived in Chicago my entire life. I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago, all right? So I've seen the deterioration, and it breaks my heart. I love Chicago with all of my heart, and I want your viewers and conservatives throughout America, good people, throughout America, to love Chicago too. Rahm Emanuel has done a number of things to damage our city from within. He said that he was going to put more police officers on the street. Actually, we have less police officers, and that is a slippery slope of police officers doing more overtime, becoming more fatigued. I believe that the most, these cases, the Laquan McDonald case in particular, where you have a police officer who snaps, I believe that it's as serious as post-traumatic stress syndrome, and these police officers need to be supported, not have further condemnation heaped upon them. Rahm's police board very recently, this is a headline, this is news, released a new study based on their science that essentially labeled all Chicago police officers racist. Now, that's
That's ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous, especially when you consider that the science that they used for this study was basically came down to one thing, that the majority of police stops involved black suspects. Well, there are a couple of things here that need to be understood.
Okay, make it quick. I only got a couple of minutes here.
The reason why the police initiated, it was black victims that initiated the 911 call. So the police officers do not go out searching for black people to pull over. They are responding to a 911 call very often from a black victim of a crime.
Let me get to this, though, then, because we talk about that bystander effect, and in a recent commentary, you talked about the fact that the likely response rate to help a black person with a health emergency was 1 in 55, compared with 1 in 24 for a white person in dire straits. Is that part of the bystander effect? Is this really off? Is this painting a wrong picture?
Well, one thing regarding the bystander effect, the case, I hope you're showing this horrific video, that was not in a black neighborhood. That was that example of that individual, that assault victim being run over by a taxi cab, that took place in my neighborhood. That took place in the Gold Coast of Chicago. I was born and raised on the south side, but I've since moved downtown to what is known as the Gold Coast. And the fact of the matter is that video was recorded literally blocks from my home. So this is no longer a problem on the south side of Chicago or in a particular neighborhood in Chicago. This is citywide. It will not be correct.
Okay, then let's do this. You're right. Exactly right. This is a citywide issue. 60 seconds I have left then, William, from somebody who has lived there. What's the cure?
Let the police do their job. Since this report has come out condemning police officers in Chicago as racist, the police there's literally been a 90% drop in police stops and an 80% rise in shootings. I will simply say this, and it hurts me to say it: avoid the city of Chicago for now. Do not do not visit the city of Chicago as long as Rahm Emanuel is mayor. That is for sure.
That's a pretty harsh statement to make right there. I'm sure a lot of people are going to say that's how are we supposed to do that? We love Chicago.
Well, I love Chicago with all of my heart. But I also don't want people to be the victims of Rahm's policies.
How much longer is Rahm in office?
As you well know, I ran to be mayor of the city of Chicago.
Well, let's just say this. I've only got a couple of seconds. Hopefully, for as short a period of time as possible. I mean,
Exactly right.
Let's get him out as quickly as we possibly can. I want to remind everybody, the column Chicago Rules at the Newsmax.com website. It is a beautiful city. It's a wonderful city. I miss the time going to Chicago. I really hope that this city is able to repair itself because it's a great place to go. William Kelly, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate your time. The Hardline continues.